out on live, man, that was the play. Streaming every night, building up the sway. But as the site faded, I had to find my way. Now I'm hopping platforms, surfing through the fray. Got my crew behind me, yeah, we call them givers. Chillin' IRL, catching all the rivers. Farkle in the chat, bringing loss to the grind. Talking crypto games while we sippin' Jack Fine. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle wine. From the land down under, streaming through the night. New Zealand vibes, surfing waves day to night. Always looking for the next thrill, that's where I ignite. Community so solid, always shining bright. Rolling deep and cruising for the height. From the struggle to the stream, it's all just a game. But with the giver found, we're making our name. Jack and crypto profits, life just gets sweeter. Every view and every stream, making life a keeper. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, life's a subtle wine. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. So here's to the journey, no regrets in sight. Each laugh and each tear, it's a beautiful fight. Keep the wave rolling, let the good vibes flow. We're the givers, together in the show. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle wine. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. Script how we play a game. First odds and next time chasing fame. With the year behind me, changing scenes. So through the internet, living out the dream. Got my acoustic strum, curing and chill for cracking jokes. We'll stop the thrill. In the land of Kiwis, we ride the waves. Our streams phone, no better days. It's a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme.
Hello, the internet. It is Sunday, the 12th of July. Yes, 2026, and welcome back to the channel. I almost said June. I was not going to confuse the year. It's definitely 2026, but I wasn't sure if we were in July or June. It is July. This did hit me pretty hard. I'm not going to deny. I was walking. This actually happened last week, and I've held on to it for a week. Yeah, I was on my 10K fitness walk and I was rounding. Hey, there's a flying animal in my room. You guys see that? What was that? Was that a moth? Kind of caught the light just there. I was on my 10K fitness walk and I walked past a utility, a vehicle. You guys know it as a truck. A truck, yeah. And I did a double take. I was like, what? I had to go back and look at it to verify. This truck had HEX stickers and PulseChain stickers that had been there for a while by the look of it. Now you might say, well, it's not that. Like, I mean, you might say that is a bit unusual. I will add this. In the town I live in, there is less, well, it's two towns together. In total, there's 3,000 people in these two towns. 2,000 in this one plus 1,000 in the additional town. To have another Hexican, or as Dale eloquently put it in the chat, another fool in the area, it's kind of strange, right? Take a look at this. By the way, congrats first place to Luke, Sir Pigeon, and then minuscule after Luke, Dale nabbed the second place to the stream. Congrats you lovely yahoos. Teslas and surfers and Hexicans, oh my. Take a look at this. This was, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I could not believe this when I saw it. Here is the utility, and I mean, we're not doxing here because this is on a public street and this guy has a business to run. The business is level and square, glass and glazing. And look at that hex sticker. Bam, right there on the side. And then I went and got a closer look at it. 40% APY, hex.com, and PulseChain right there, PulseX. Unbelievable, hey. I would have blocked his number for privacy. Dude, he's got a business and he's got a vehicle parked on a public street. How much more public can you get? I'm not doxing anything, dude. You know what? I did think of that though. As I was getting this stream ready, I was thinking, hang on a second. I was like, no, wait. This dude runs a business. This is not doxing. This is a guy with a business parked on the street with a vehicle with a phone number on the vehicle. There is no doxing here. Arriver8294. Morning, Benon. What is he? Arriver. Hello, Arriver. You arrive okay? Did you get here okay? Morning, Benon. What is he sticker? What is a HEX sticker? So HEX is a cryptocurrency. How do we explain this? Do we want to explain this? Do we need to explain this? Should we explain this? Oh boy, here goes Dale. Oh boy.
I just farted.
You better get that checked out. So HEX is a cryptocurrency founded by a gentleman by the name of Richard Hart. The way this cryptocurrency works is rather unique in the sense that it is imitating or mimicking what we all know works at a bank. Banks often take your money, lock it up for a period of time, then give it back to you when that time has elapsed, and then you get what you locked up, plus you get a little more on top. In different parts of the planet, it's known as a different thing. In Australia, we call it a time deposit or a term deposit. Term deposit. Americans call it a certificate of deposit, also named a time deposit. HEX is the first crypto that I know that duplicates that onto the blockchain. So you are effectively locking your tokens, in this case HEX, for an X amount of time, and when you get them back, you receive the principal plus you receive the accumulated interest given how long you decided to lock them up for. Minimum is 1 day, maximum is 15 years.
It's because we suck.
Great timing for that one. Whoever did that. So that's the concept behind HEX. I guess the controversy behind HEX is that it has done nothing. There's two things here. The contract, the smart contract, the blockchain, everything about HEX is doing what it says it should have done. You are locking up your tokens. You are receiving the tokens back when you unlock. You are receiving the interest. The problem is the token has gone down, 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 almost to zero. So when I said you go to the bank and you lock up your dollars for X amount of time and they give you back your principal plus this interest, of course you are receiving back the dollar and you are receiving interest in the dollar. The way HEX works, as it would appear to be the case with any crypto, you are locking up HEX and you are receiving back HEX. So the value of the thing you are receiving, you would like the value to go up, the value of HEX. But unfortunately, through...
It is absolutely impossible.
It is not impossible, not like coded. So there's controversy. The controversy lies in, why is this token so dogshit bad? A lot of people will say it's because of the founder, Richard Hart himself, does absolutely jack squat to...
I don't know what's going to work, but something's going to fucking work.
I appreciate that sentiment, Captain RG3. Those voices the voices you're hearing, or some of them, are Hexicans, as they're known. Those that are in the community, myself included. I am a Hexican. That's why when I saw this in my own town, I did a double take, a triple take, a quadruple take, and I wonder how badly down this person is. I hope the business level and Square is doing well for you, because I know for a fact the HEX and associated products, because Richard Hart wasn't happy enough with one dogshit bad project, he brought out a second and a third and a fourth. and they're all horrible. They're all down, 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 down. Now, I touched on it very briefly. Why is it all down? Arguably, it's because of the founder. He is a, well, let's say polarizing figure. I think he's a horrible person. I think he's an egomaniac. I think and I know from recent events in my life, I know what a narcissist is, and this gentleman fits the characteristics of a narcissist as clearly as you could define them. And I've watched, it actually is amazing. This guy has live streamed very extensively to his community. When things were going well, he was up there promoting and onboarding and doing all this extra work that he possibly could to get this thing to work. And then when it showed signs of bottoming out and going horribly, the guy ran. He ran so far that no one even knows where he is. He's on Twitter tweeting every now and then. Hasn't done a single live stream in like 4 years now, maybe closer to 5 years. The strange thing is he has left all of his existing streams up on his channel, so you can go and watch them. And you've only got to watch like a little of it to realize he contradicts himself all the time, like all the time. And I can give you some straight up examples right off the top of my head. What about him saying the only thing that matters in crypto?
Ladies and gentlemen,
we got him.
we got him.
The only thing that matters in cryptocurrency is the price. The only thing that matters is the price. And then what do? You go to the hex.com website. The thing that they've taken off the website because it's so dog shit bad is the price. Before, when it was all roses and it got up to, I think 52 cents was its all-time high, the price was up there. The price was up there. Look at this lovely price chart. And then over the years when it's all gone dog shit, the price is gone. So Richard, if the only thing that matters in crypto is the price, where is your price for Hex and why is it so dog shit when you do find it yourself? I thought you'd be up there trying to get that price to look better, to be better. Dick Hart is a con man. Now, I don't know how far to go. See, I'm in two minds here simply because it is doing what it's meant to do. That you cannot argue that Hex isn't working. Hex is working. Hex, it's fine. Everything with Hex is fine in terms of what it's meant to do. The problem is the price. The price is so dog shit. And I'm leveling that dog shitness on Richard and the way he corralled a community of, well, I don't want to label them, but let's just say they're an interesting bunch of people, us Hexicans. I'm included in that. I'm an interesting person. I'm also a Hexican. But as you know from my years of involvement, I've been not reluctant, but I've been sidelines watching just because it's so freaking cringe what they're doing over there.
Oh my God. Look, yep. This is very...
Not awesome.
Not awesome.
Brendan, you've never understood the basic concept of value. The concept of value, let me refresh myself. It's what people associate something to a... You can deem something valuable if enough people want it. The basic supply versus demand generates value is what I understood. I was going to tell you another interesting thing. Okay, so I've been watching some old Richard Hart streams and some of the contradictions are just flying off the handle. It's crazy how much contradiction. And you know what? You know what's even crazier? This stuff is out there, yet Hexicans are just willfully blind to it. No, like anybody, I don't want to do it. I couldn't be fucked. It would take forever. But you could go through Richard Hart's videos, his 8-hour live feeds, and you could collect the parts when he's an absolute contradicting fool and paste it together so simply. You don't even have to do much to it. It's right there. How about this one time, right? There's this one stream. Holy fuck, this was bad. So he makes a big deal about self-made millionaire by the time he was 20 or whatever, and he's been retired since 2003 or something, 6 years before Bitcoin was invented, and I didn't make my money on crypto, blah, 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 blah. I'm doing all this for the glory of it. I'm doing this I want glory and I want this and I want that. Well, I got news for you, Richard. You don't get things just because you want them. You get them when you earn them. You can't just say, I want the glory, therefore worship me. I created the world's first blockchain certificate of deposit. Big whoop, dude. Until that thing proves itself, you can't claim anything. And the more that you scream and kick and fuss about claiming it, the less you'll get it. Do you know what happened? I still don't know how this fell apart, but there's a couple of feeds there, a couple of live streams where he is talking about being on the Lex Fridman podcast. He's saying he's in contact, in discussions with Lex Fridman. Now, Lex Fridman is probably the king of long-form discussions that allow both parties, like interviewer plus interviewee, to really get involved and get deep and you know, if you do a half an hour interview, you only scratch the surface. If you do an hour, you get deeper. If you do 3 hours, you get right into the guts. If you do 5 hours in an interview, the guy's walking away exhausted because he's given everything. So Lex Fridman and Richard Hart were in conversation about doing an interview. Lex Fridman offered to fly Richard to his location. I fly you out here. I'll host you. You come over and you do it. Now, this was just post-COVID, so there might have been some hangover of COVID travel restrictions of some sorts. I'm not 100% certain. For many, many years, Richard was very careful about not doxing which country he lived in. We do know that's Finland. That's all obviously out there for quite a while now. He was living in Finland, and I believe Lex is in America. So, and Richard's an American citizen, so there would have been no problem with Richard going to America to appear on the Lex Fridman podcast. Now, that didn't happen. And from what I understand, I haven't heard Richard speak on this, but I did post a tweet. I can't look at it now because I'm on a social media ban while the World Cup's being played. No spoilers. I'm not touching social media at all until that's over. I understand the community fucked that up. The Hexicans ruined that. So apparently Lex Fridman did a 180 and said, I'm not touching this guy. I am not touching Richard Hart. And the reason? Because the community, the ones that Richard corrals, the ones that believe, right? The me's, the Hexicans somehow ruined it. They flooded Lex Fridman's DMs, demanding this, demanding that. They were already talking. Lex and Richard were already in discussions about how to do this. And are you telling me that the community fucked that chance? What on earth are you saying? Now you got the community packaging up these stupid plastic Temu iPads full of HEX and PulseChain information and mailing them out to 1 million people. No, what are you doing, you idiots? That's just wasting your time, wasting your money. You get this. These people are going to receive this shit and they're going to be like, what? You've sent me this tablet that you can buy for 30 cents on Temu and it's covered in PulseChain and HEX paraphernalia? Pfft, that's going in. I'm frisbeeing that into the ocean before I even bother looking at it. Like that is the majority of people that are, but the point of it is the community is constantly done these weird reminder, no spoilers for the World Cup. That's the national anthem of the USA. I don't want anyone to say they won. I don't even know if they're still in. I'm oblivious. I'm still at game number 27 out of 116 or something. Anyway, so I cannot believe, I genuinely cannot believe that the community was responsible for fucking up Richard getting on the Lex Fridman podcast, because what makes a cryptocurrency go up in price? When more people buy. How do you get more people to buy? You tell people about it. How do you reach people? Didn't we learn this? Who won the election 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Richard Hart. Not Richard Hart. Oh, fuck. Wouldn't that be a mind trip?
I like this guy.
Thank you. I'm in favor of myself too. Donald Trump. Didn't he go on the Joe Rogan podcast? Didn't he do all the interviews with as many
At ID Digital Agency, we're not perfect, but we're aware. You can listen to a past episode or get in touch with us over at ID Digital.
Nothing AI about that. Yeah, didn't Trump do the rounds, and didn't Kamala not? Didn't she decline to do it? She was offered the Joe Rogan and she said no. So the point of it is, if you want to get more people involved, you got to go where the people are. The biggest podcast on the planet, Lex Friedman, he had that teed up. And if I hear this correctly, the community fucked that up for him. That is a shame, but it's also kind of fitting and kind of telling that is what the community is like in Hex. Absolute madmen, like ranting madmen, right? Like totally ranting madmen. That's why I could not believe when I found a local here in my town of less than 2,000 people with the HEX and PulseChain sticker all over his vehicle. Unfreaking believable. You know what I did find though, for shits and giggles?
This is
reality. I found a video, The Collapse of HEX, a financial cult. The only catch with this video is it's 2 years old. This is ongoing, right? Sort by the most recent comment. A month ago. Deserves an update video. Let's take a look at this.
This is reality.
Reality. This is reality.
All right. About a year ago, I made a documentary, a short one, about this thing called HEX. At the time, I was trying to showcase that this investment community was a cult, and I put some work into making an intro, which I'm going to play again right now, except I'm going to play a slightly modified version based on where things are today versus where they were back then. Here it is.
2 years ago, I was in a horrible place in my life. I was homeless, I was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and I was divorcing my wife by then. I had no hope, no goals, and I was just living day to day. Then I found out about Richard, and he helped me so much with his self-help books and videos that it changed my life completely.
Everybody, Richard Art here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelets, and it's all...
So this is Richard Hart, and just to fill you in, if you don't know, the reason he did all this kind of, they dubbed this outrage marketing. The reason he did this, his opinion, as he said, was that you cause outrage, you get eyes, you get views. You do the zany thing, you get tweeted out. You do the crazy headline, the stupid thumbnail, you get more algorithm love. That was the theory. The only catch with that is, if you go back on his channel, he was doing this shit before Hex launched. He was doing this in the lead up to it. Before he needed to do anything, he was into all this god-awful Prada and Davici. I don't even know the names of these expensive handbags and shit. He was doing all this shit before he needed to. So my take on that is, no, you just love all this rich boy shit. That's what you do. You love it and you wanted to buy all this crap and you pretended that you were doing it for outrage, but in secret, you actually like this shit. And man, come on, dude, this is horrible. Horrible. Hey, Giggles, how you doing?
all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
I was so thankful to found somebody who could now help me and give me the motivation to be successful in life. I started learning about HEX and it made me financially free. This was the point when HEX Lion
I don't represent the people, the fuck I don't! I'm the one who does!
That truck dude probably sold HEX years ago. He bought that truck. Well, I mean, look, if you sold it at 50 cents, yes, which obviously Captain RG3 and others did do. That's the other thing, folks. That's the other thing, right? And this is why
I didn't say shit. All you did.
This is why I had that discussion with Captain RG3 that time, because the idea of HEX, the concept behind it is you buy it, you stake it, you earn the rewards, and you make mints. You mint $1 million and you become wealthy. And what's the term they always used? Sudden wealth syndrome. That was a term that Hexicans were throwing around. Sudden wealth syndrome. How quick does it have to be sudden? It's going on 5, 6, 7 years now. That's not very sudden. But if you did sell, there was an all-time high of 52 cents. So if you did sell at 52, you definitely had a chance to make a lot of money, and a lot of people did. The trouble is, That's not what HEX was invented for. HEX was invented for you to stake it and earn the rewards. So those who, within the first year of HEX, sold it at a high, they get considered the OGs and they get all the praise, but they were the ones that sold on your heads. They were the sneaky ones that were talking about staking. You got to stake it. The bigger, the better. The longer pays better. They weren't. They were selling. They were packing. They were holding it and waiting for that all-time high. No, dumping on your heads. You that staked it like Richard told us to, you couldn't get it out, right? You couldn't access it because it was locked in. Those that sold it, they didn't stake it, kept it liquid, made the bucket load of money on our heads. And that's who the OGs are? That's disgusting, man.
YouTube channel. We understood that we have an amazing financial product in front of us that will make us financially free. And now we have to build a community. We have to bring our friends and families along with us on this journey.
For me, it takes on new meaning as time goes on. The first part of it was monetary success. The next part of it comes that you feel like you're part of a community, some different type of community that, you know, is not looking for money, but is already got their capital, you know.
This guy just say people that we're a part of a community, the people that are not looking for money, we already got our capital. No, everybody in HEX is looking to make money. Everybody.
Things, and they're making things happen. A lot of love going on. There's a lot of overlapping care.
By the way, so this is 2 years old. He's highlighting the SEC case against Richard Hart, which Richard Hart did win. So this should be noted, and this should be added to the docket that Richard Hart was fighting the SEC based upon his cryptocurrency HEX, which he did win. So this case is now concluded. No, not a security. The SEC backed off and said, nope, you're good to go. So this little slice of whatever that he's putting in here from 2 years ago may well have been, well, it must have been just nearing the end of the case, but yeah, so Richard did beat the SEC. Now, everybody was saying, just wait until Richard Hart beats the SEC and all the rest of the crypto world falls over and says, Richard, you were right. We're going to the moon. What happened to the price? Absolutely fuck nothing. Nothing. No change. In fact, down further. If you can't keep going down, where can you go? Ask Richard Hart and his projects. He knows they just keep going lower and lower. Lower, all-time low, new all-time low, lower than low, low. It doesn't know anything other than low. It did at one point, the all-time high, and then it went down.
Hexicans, you know, and everyone's got open arms, you know.
Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, a couple
so cringe.
Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man.
So as far as people in cryptocurrencies go, I'm basically like a god.
Just call it Hexican.
77, 46, 77.
5,000 HEX, your future is pretty much set. You don't have to work ever again in your life.
Imagine telling like a 6-year-old you don't have to work at all in your life. It's kind of a sad thing to tell a kid, hey, you don't have to work. They don't even know what work is at this point.
I did the calculation for my friend, right? And I staked out 5,000 HEX for my friend for 10 years. And I did the calculation, bro, you're a millionaire already.
Yeah, they're financially free.
Dale, comparing HEX to a certificate of deposit is not accurate. That's known as conflating two different things. No, it definitely is, dude. It's the blockchain equivalent of a certificate of deposit. Certificate of deposit, you take your dollars, you lock them up at a bank for a set amount of time, you receive the interest that you agree upon at the end of the time plus your principal. Same thing with HEX. You take your HEX tokens, lock them up in a smart contract for X amount of time, you receive an agreed upon return, you receive your principal plus the return at the end of the time. It's exactly the same. It's just blockchained. There's no difference. I know all that, Ben. So how can you say you're saying it's conflating? It's not. It's exactly the same. It's the same principle just applied to a blockchain. That's all it is. And also, with that said, it's not that revolutionary. Richard seems to think it's the most revolution. He says he should get a Nobel Peace Prize for creating it. Are you out of your mind, dude? By the way, are there many Nobel Peace Prize winners or I don't even know the phrase. Are there many people that have Nobel Peace Prize that asked for them? I don't think there are. I'm not sure. You might have to fact check that. But if you come out asking for one, I don't think that's how it works. I think people have to recognize without you screaming and shouting like a little spoiled baby that you deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. It's fucking so dumb. CDs are in dollars. Hex is not. That's what I said. I said that very clearly. I said that extremely clearly. The difference between a conventional time deposit, term deposit, certificate of deposit is you lock up dollars, you receive dollars. The Hex version, you lock up Hex, you receive Hex. I made that very clear at the start or during this blurb. Yeah, I made that super clear. I have made dollars with CDs. You have lost money with Hex. But dude, that's what I said. That's what I said. I said that, man. I said that so clearly. You have a thing that is doing what the thing is designed to do. The unfortunate problem is the thing is worth nothing. Why is it worth nothing? Because of Richard Hart and because of the community. That's what I'm saying. The dollar value of the thing is diddly squat because of the community and the way that they're perceived in the greater crypto world. That's undeniable. They're cringe. They're cult. They're this whole concept of a maxi. It's just horrible. There are other cryptos that deserve equally an amount of time in your headspace as Hex. But Richard would say, don't look at anything else. Don't pick up pennies in front of a freight train. Only look at Richard Hart products. I don't want to hear anyone talk about anything else other than Richard. This is your classic narcissism. The unfortunate thing is the man's a billionaire or a millionaire, self-made, and he does have a lot of sway because everyone wants the money. That's what everyone chases. No one wants to be like Richard Hart. They just want his money. So he's got the money. How do we get it? It looks like using his products is not the way to do that. He screwed you and many others. Yeah. AKA he's a con man. I don't know if I'd call him a con man because the con involves like a bait and switch at the end. Like you're about to open up the package. You're about to open up the package and then all of a sudden the thing inside isn't the thing that you said. Yeah, I don't know. Like a con man is, yeah, I would not equate it as a con man. If there wasn't a contract, like if it wasn't a smart contract that everybody could read and analyze, and people have done, and if there was hidden elements to it, then I think you could put forward the idea that he's been conning everybody. But because it's contracted, it's out there, it's readable, it's verifiable, and it's been audited like 3 times, I don't think you can claim con man elements to it. But what you can say is there is, given all the statutory and regulatory loopholes that Richard had to be careful to navigate, there are things about the contract that are perplexing and concerning, such as the origin address, obviously, right? The OA, the address that receives all these penalties and receives a whole stack of the supply. People will say, well, who created Hex? Richard Hart. So who owns the origin address? Richard Hart. And of course, because of these these outlines that we have to govern ourselves by, he can't say, I own the origin address. But of course, we know he does. And so that origin address looks like very centralized ownership. So if anyone controls Hex, you would say it's Richard Hart. But of course, he would never acknowledge that, because if he did, then he'd be falling into these pitfalls that he's got to try to avoid. So there, it's a bit of a shame, but it's a two-pronged affair here because Richard is such a douchebag, but he's generated such an incredibly lame following of people. Again, myself included, right? He's rounded up these absolute, like, I don't know, like I feel like I should be a bit careful here because I'm not quite a degen, but I came into this whole crypto thing pretty much like when I did my deep dive into crypto, it was at the same time that I heard about HEX, right? So I learned about crypto and then very, very quickly I was told about HEX. Who by? The Hexicans. Who was it again? Not Heximo. Well, Heximofo was there, but another hexologist rated me on DLive. Came in, rated me. Do you know Richard Hart streamed on DLive? Came in, rated me, told me about HEX, give me some HEX, get me in, right? These are the guys that are sold on your head, by the way. All these people that rated and promoted HEX in that first year before big payday, they're the ones that sold on your head. They're the dudes that were saying, gotta stake that shit, man. Yeah, 5. Do a synchro quattro. Get it done, man. Get your ladder together. They didn't. They sold that shit. They were lying to you. Me. Joker and HEX should have been your first clue. Well, Joker was onboarded at the same time as me. Look at this kick, Mr. Subhuman. No, you can fuck off, Mr. Subhuman. We're not talking about your stupid rap song on YouTube. Fuck yourself. How do you like that?
All right, free from their savings at least, but more so than laughing at the idiocy of a financial cult, because that's what HEX is and always was. Today I want to go over where we're at today, because the landscape of 2024 is wildly different when compared to the end of 2022. Basic overview, HEX is one of the largest Ponzi schemes in history, but semantic games and equivocations run rampant here as people try to...
Ponzi, so I've heard this discussion or this point raised many times. A Ponzi scheme takes money from the bottom to pay new onboards. It's not how HEX works, but you can't really say it's a Ponzi scheme unless you want to define exactly what a Ponzi is, and I bet this guy doesn't, because and if he does, then he's not really informed of how HEX actually works. But
pretend that it isn't somehow a Ponzi scheme because they used a couple different words to describe it. No, I'm not kidding here. That's literally what happened. See, HEX was allegedly not a security because Richard Hart, aka Richard Schuller,
it's not a security, and that's been proven by the SEC. So the very governing body that is there to define what a security is and then regulate that security has acknowledged that HEX is not a security. So that needs to be said very clearly. The governing body in America who regulates and prosecutes securities has outwardly said HEX is not a security. Richard Hart beat that case. So that needs to be said. So if we're watching this from 2 years earlier, we have to put this into perspective. We agree, yeah, not a security.
Was allegedly not a security because Richard Hart, aka Richard Schuller, told everyone to sacrifice.
And by the way, this concept of having a fake name, everybody hits this and they're like, it's not even his real name. His name's Richard Schuller. His name's not Richard Hart. It's Richard Schuller. And everybody gets all upset and all defensive. I'm like, man, what the fuck what difference does that make? Do you think Whoopi Goldberg's name is Whoopi? Fuck no. You think she was christened Whoopi? No, it's a stage name, you idiots. So people that get all angsty about that, do you think Prince is his real name? It's not, right? Whoopi Goldberg, Prince. There's hundreds of celebrities that choose a stage name. So that is a dumb argument, but I've heard that done over and over again. It's just so stupid.
Security because Richard Hart, aka Richard Schuller, told everyone to sacrifice their money for it instead of just buying it. Sure, yes, if you sacrificed a certain amount of money, you'd be given a certain amount of HEX because you were buying it. But no, it's not the traditional established financial mechanism here. It's this brand new concept that just does the exact same thing. Again, this was a financial...
No. So here I am now defending HEX because the concept of a sacrifice is literally using the English language. So a sacrifice is something that you're willing to give away. You're giving something away and you're not expecting to get that thing back. That is the definition of a sacrifice. So that's not a Ponzi. You're willing to give something away that you're not expecting to receive back. That's the phrasing. So you can't say Richard has done something funky here because he's used the word that describes the thing that you're doing. You are, and this was in the beginning of HEX, right? You sacrificed Ethereum into a pool that then that pool would be used to potentially deliver something else in return. You're never getting the Ethereum back. That is sacrificed. Hexy Mofo, how you doing, man? Yo, Hexy Mofo, hex your life up.
Cult, but it gets better because in mid-2023, the next phase of Richard Hart's plan went live called PulseChain, which immediately fell apart. The fee structure imploded, the system seized up completely for a while, multiple exploits allowed attackers to steal millions of dollars in liquidity.
It's I don't know about the stealing of millions of dollars of liquidity, but it is funny, and it should be noted that the idea of PulseChain and the forking of Ethereum to a different chain so that HEX could run smoother. I heard these streams that Richard did where he was talking about that concept, like, okay, well, Ethereum, this S-load function is getting too expensive because we're doing all this writing and reading and it's costing too much to even transact and blah, 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 blah. We're going to have to swap to a different chain. I'm going to fork Ethereum. At the early days of that, there's a stream where he talks about the thought of I'm thinking about forking Ethereum. And someone that he was having on as an interview asked him, so what'll happen to the original HEX? And he pretty much said it'll die out. He pretty much says that. He says the community will decide, but it'll probably die out and everybody will move to the new thing. So what he was saying there very clearly, like extremely clearly, was if you bought HEX, as many people did do, and if you did what you were supposed to do, staked out 5555, longer pays better, up until the time that Richard decided to fork Ethereum and make his own, up until that point, you're all good. But then now Richard is saying, oh, that shit's just, the community's going to shift to a new one. So what happens to those ones that you staked for 15 years? Who cares? We're moving to a new one. And you'll say, yeah, but didn't he give you a system states copy that whatever you have on Ethereum also pumped across to PulseChain? He did do that for sure. But are we supposed to just let those die out and not worry about them? Kind of weird, right? The thing that he invented is now suffering. It's it is so weird because every time you hear Richard say this catchphrase, 100% uptime. HEX has never had an inflation bug. Bitcoin's had two. He's always careful to point out everyone else's flaws. HEX has had none. HEX is flawless uptime, 100% uptime since the beginning. And I'm like, but hang on a second. Isn't it just built on Ethereum? Like, aren't you just relying on an existing chain? If Ethereum goes down, HEX goes down, right? If Ethereum goes down, HEX goes down. Now, if you've got PulseChain, of course, Pulse HEX, or now they call that HEX and Ethereum eHEX, whatever. If PulseChain goes down, Pulse HEX goes down. If Ethereum goes down, Ethereum HEX goes down. But Richard will never say that. He's like, no, 100% uptime, man. We've never had a problem. Never had a problem. So you're relying on the strength of Ethereum to piggyback your token. But he would never acknowledge that. But he'll also take the concept of the idea that this is working so well as his own. He'll take that for himself. Like, I did this. No, you didn't. You just built something on top of it. You built on top of Ethereum. You didn't do anything. You just built your contract on an existing platform. But if you say that to him in an interview, he just shuns past it. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. You should all go and watch I can't believe he's left them up there. The early Richard Hart streams, after the long hair top hat crap, after that sort of fades off, you should go back and watch these. At least if you want to if you've got a lot of time, because these streams go for 6-7 hours at a time. But if you wanted to educate yourself and have a good laugh, the ones that lead up to Big Payday and the ones after HEX is launched and before it reaches all-time high, those streams are gold in terms of how many times Richard Hart contradicts his own story and changes it. And of course, when you hear him do that and you, in the back of your mind, you think, did you just change? He would say, updated my worldview, man. Updated my worldview. You updated your worldview and everybody lost money because of that. So your thing now is fucked because you updated your worldview. Okay, go and buy another Louis Vuitton bag and keep updating your worldview and we'll keep buying them for you. I wish he never made the comment about HEX. I think that was giving a foul taste to many. He did that, dude. He literally did that. It's on the one hand, he's not meant to say any like forward-looking price statements, and you can't have any. There's no promise of work from the others and no promise of value and this and that, but yet he can do the opposite and totally dog shit and ruin one of them. Yeah, and then tell us that the community will decide. No, the top dog decides and the community follows, because whatever Richard does, the plebs will just fall in line behind. We've seen it over and over and over again. It's crazy, man. Crazy.
Completely for a while, multiple exploits allowed attackers to steal millions of dollars in liquidity. And at the same time, the price for all three scheme tokens, I'll call them, HEX, Pulse, and PulseX, cratered by like 30% in a couple of days. To be clear, this is a group of quasi-religious, desperate finance bros who traveled around the country trying to sell this scheme to as many people as possible, hyping up actual children and telling them you're financially free, you never have to work again in your life.
That's pretty
because they got $9 worth of a crypto scam. It sounds utterly ridiculous, right? But remember, this project had a market cap in the billions of dollars, and the charismatic leader, Richard Hart in this case, built his entire persona on extravagant personal wealth for no reason.
You want me to? I'm going to hit you with another one. I just remembered this. So this is a classic. So I'm aware of what a narcissist is. Before a little while back, I had no clue. I've now educated myself, and I'm watching these Richard streams and thinking this guy is classic narcissism. There's an interview. This is so bad. So he has a guest on, and I think for some reason he either had bought a new computer or a new sound card or something. And the guest audio was so low, right? Super low. And everyone in the chat is saying, your guest audio, turn him up, we can't hear it. And Richard, dude, this goes on for about an hour and a half. Richard is seeing the chat and ignoring it because I've got the greatest setup. I stream to you in 4K, huge bit rate, big candelabra, beautiful lighting, and a $7,000 camera just for you guys. And I'm not listening to my own chat that's telling me because the audio there can't be anything wrong with the audio. It's fine in my ears, therefore it's fine for everybody. The chat is over and over and over saying, turn up your guest, we can't hear him, turn up your guest. And when finally, like an hour into it, Richard finally says, hey man, I think we better look into your audio. This is narcissism. He's just declining to even acknowledge that he could be somehow not quite as in the right in terms of the audio in this case, but in many other cases, many other things. At some point, you've got to acknowledge that maybe they know more than you. But is that possible with Richard? No, I'm a self-made millionaire, retired in 2022. I've ran 6 different businesses before I was 17, and I've blah, 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 and a blah, blah, blah. All this stuff, just big smoking of himself. They're telling you, dude, your chat is fucked. We can't hear it. And he wouldn't listen. And therefore the interview is shit. And the guest doesn't know because they can hear each other through Zoom, whatever. We can't hear it. And finally he ends up listening and puts his headphone on and he's like, oh, that is shit. Okay. I'm really sorry about that. You know, you guys really got me there. No, dude, if you would just get off your fucking pedestal for a second, like just momentarily allow yourself to just be a regular human and listen to humans, maybe people would like you more. Instead of claiming that everyone has to like you because you did this, you did that, you're a self-made millionaire, you called the Bitcoin top and the 20K Christmas, you did all. Instead of saying all that, let those actions filter through and people will say, that guy's pretty cool. But if you keep saying, I'm pretty cool, aren't I? I'm pretty cool. No, that's cringe. No one's going to look at you and go, yeah, man, you are really cool. Now that you told us you're cool, we think you're cool. We think you're a dick when you do that. Hexy, I think if everyone holds long-term, there will be value for both hexes, so Pulse and HEX. The contract cannot be changed, and staking on chain with HEX contracts should prove to have value for yield long term. Of course it does. It does. We know this. It's contracted. It's written in there. We know that. The problem is the value of that in terms of the dollar when that contract comes out, dog shit. So this is, you're right, immutable contract. There should be value on both chains. I get it. There will be, and there is. Trouble is, when you go to sell that for real dollars, dog shit. The new upcoming regulations and laws that are coming will not allow exchanges to give yield on stablecoins. So true DeFi yield on chain will be available on the HEX contract. I mean, this is true. We're not. Again, I'm not denying, and I'm not here saying. I'm saying the opposite. The HEX contract, the smart contract, the way it works, it is interesting. It is genius. It does do what it's meant to do. Trouble is, it's worth nothing. That's the trouble. That's the problem. Only if you didn't stake it and you sold it on an all-time high, which all of these, what are they called again? No, I was about to say OAs. No, there's only one OA. I wonder who that could be. All these maxi, no, the fucking, I can't remember the name of the leaders in the HEX community. The Hexicans. Doesn't even matter. But anyway, these guys, the ones that sold in our heads, the ones who sold at 50 cents. The people that sold at 50 cents, they're the ones we should be hammering, right? And we all know RG3 is one of them. You know, we know that. But it's interesting, right? Didn't I make this comment when I interviewed him? How come in the highest of stakes film, all about HEX documentary, the word 5555 wasn't mentioned even once in a documentary about a staking, a certificate of deposit, blockchain, where the main point of it was to stake? Why was not that mentioned in that entire video? You know why it wasn't mentioned? Because these guys didn't do it. The RG3s of the world didn't stake. How do we know? Because they bought Lambos in year one. How do you go from no finances to enough money to buy a Lambo and paint it and drive around your city? If you didn't, you know how you do that? You buy it, you hold it, you don't stake it, and then you sell it a high. They did that. And all the while they were telling us to stake. When people find the value of the HEX contract, price will be there. We'll see.
He's basically Bling Boy from Johnny Test in real life. Well, happily, we have an update with much better news, because even though people were aggressively ignoring the problematic signs back then meaning end of 2022, at least when I covered it, the painfully slow but still turning wheels of justice kept moving, and now we have an actual case brought by the SEC for misappropriating millions upon millions of dollars and selling unregistered securities. Turns out, if you say something like, "It doesn't cost anything to get into this club. There's no entry fee. You just have to put a donation in that jar over there, and if it's a donation that happens to be larger than $10, then you can get in. But I'm not charging an entry fee, so don't think that, okay?" Yeah, it turns out that simply calling an established concept by a new name or pretending a new set of words describe it doesn't actually change it into something else.
Well, it actually turns out it does. So this needs to be taken as with a grain of salt. So what he's saying here has been proven. Well, what he just said is not the case. So that should be it. I wonder if this guy has done an updated video of this, because this is 2 years old. Upper echelon video. I guess we'll just search for HEX. I mean, he should. No, the only HEX thing he's done 3 years ago. And this one. So he should update his worldview, to coin a phrase.
Anyway, the SEC filed an official complaint. They had trouble serving him in his Helsinki address for a while, but they finally got it through, which claims that he misappropriated millions of dollars, thereby stealing from the members, which are supposed to be his flock if we're sticking with the cult metaphor here. Very shameful, Richard. And used that money to personally enrich himself, buying all manner of expensive luxury items, including a 555-carat black diamond, the largest in the world as well, called Enigma. Despite all of this, and there's much more, by the way, I'm just condensing it all down for the sake of time, people still, to this very day, support him. Here's a video from 2 days ago, where the guy has an entire section about how Richard Hart is superhuman, and when his back is against the wall, he can figure out the right move because he's special and somehow better than the rest of us, and we all just
That's
are at
crazy.
his beck and call. We're followers. Keep in mind, Richard Hart eviscerated the value of his own scheme as he tried to migrate from the original HEX to a new platform.
Yeah.
You saw that intro, right? Everybody saw the intro.
Hexy, the strategy that was most valued by many was a staking ladder out to 15 years, allowing unstaking along the way, like a CD staking ladder where you take yield at maturity, the roll principal back. So if that's the case, man, simply answer me this. How did anyone in year one afford Lambos? If that's the case, the strategy that was most valued by many, how did they end up buying Lambos in year one? I'll wait.
The guru guy, like, yeah, man, everybody's got their capital, man. But the HEX token underpinning the entire movement got rug pulled when Richard Hart publicly said on social media, it's not even the real one. He tanked the current price by over 60% at the time when he said that, and brought down the market cap by over $1 billion. But people still defend this guy with evangelical zeal, as if he can somehow lift them out of poverty by spending all of their money on Prada and Gucci. I'm sorry, but I don't even really feel bad anymore. If people are that easily deceived, there's basically nothing that anyone could ever do to stop it.
Dalesky, a key point, all the money you staked, locked up in HEX could have been used to invest in other things all these years and make dollars. This is true. There's no denying that. The only thing I'll say is when I bought HEX, it was so cheap anyway. So the dollar value that I've locked up is very little in terms of, so the amount of HEX that I've locked up is relatively large, but the cost involved in buying it was relatively little. Now, would you have made more money? I mean, you definitely would have made more money if I had just bought Ethereum, 100%. Isn't that fucking ironic? If I had just bought and held Ethereum, instead of buying it and then spending it to stake, that's the irony. The irony of that, dude, I had to buy it anyway and then spend it to stake. Yeah. I'm laughing at that because that's literally what I did. I bought Ethereum to stake HEX. But if I had just bought and held Ethereum, I'd be better off. Let that sink in. I'm not like some madman.
Or help them. And I certainly won't claim to be happy about it, nor should I. But on a certain level, it's becoming impossible to not just dejectedly laugh about it. Regardless, the SEC complaint is very comprehensive. I've read it. And contrary to what people in the crypto industry seem to believe right now, or at least contrary to what they're being told by influencers, the SEC has a very successful track record when it comes to crypto cases.
There's no point even hearing him say this because all of this was thrown out. So Richard Hart literally beat the SEC. Dude, I bought other things, 2021, 2022, and overall I made bank. I know you did, man. Yeah, not to brag. No. Dude, I'll be the first to say congrats on your decisions, no doubt. Like you had the foresight or you had the knowledge. So let's not look. If I'm gonna weasel my way out of this, I'm gonna try to anyway. I got involved in crypto at the same time as I got involved in HEX. So all of it was new to me and all of it was pitched at the same time. Whereas, as far as I know, you were already involved in a lot of different financial investments well before this. So you've had the knowledge of the years of foresight to know what to do and what not to do. Yeah. Hexy, you can create your stake ladder for any cycle, weekly, monthly, quarterly. You can stake as low as 1 day. Yeah, I know that. Between 1 day and 5,555 days. I know that, yeah. And so what I'm saying, Hexy, is the ones who made money were the ones that had liquid HEX at the time of all-time high. There's no denying that. The only OGs that made money were those that held liquid and sold when we got to the all-time high. Ask Captain RG3 about that, and he won't acknowledge it. He just weaseled his way out of it.
And crypto cases against promoters in particular. There's this weird alternate reality intellectual bubble happening in crypto where the moonshot Lamborghini type speculators think that the SEC is backing off or somehow losing relevance. But the truth is that they're actually picking up speed. The number of actions being taken year over year went up 53% in 2023, with 46 total enforcements. And I'm not going to sit here and say that they're doing a good job yet, not even close. But they're doing more every day compared to the legal environment previously, where the con artists and scammers could just do whatever.
Okay, so this is irrelevant because Richard Hart beat the SEC. So if this is all just about the case, then this is all irrelevant. Yeah, so he's just going to wax on. Let's go back to the highest of stakes.
End quote. That is a forward-thinking perspective right there. Lying to people in such a way that you can allegedly skim a ridiculous amount of money from a system you built and then using that money to personally enrich yourself, simultaneously tanking the value of their investments after pushing the entire thing as a guaranteed way to get rich in the first place. That is very bold. Freedom of speech. Okay, sure. Freedom of speech. You buy this? Organize a community where
I'm
the
over
sole
it.
guiding principle is...
I'm over him. I'm over it. And I'm also over the conversation about Hex because I don't think, I guess what I should do here is bring this back to why I brought this up today anyway. So I live in a town of less than 2,000 people and I saw a Hex sticker on a vehicle. I thought that was worthy of a conversation. In my town, there's a dude who runs a business called Level and Square, glassing and glazing, and he's got a utility with HEX and PulseChain stickers on it. That's the point of why I did this today. I still have HEX stakes up until, I guess, maybe a year back. Nah, maybe a bit longer now. I was still buying a little HEX and staking it, but I've given up. I've given up the idea of buying anything more. I've just decided that what I'm doing, I'm not listening to these mind-numbingly obnoxious HEX influences, and instead I am spreading out. Any investing I do is on a wider spread. This concept that only one person has the secret and it's Richard Hart is just batshit crazy, comically crazy. And I think everybody that bows down to his throne and worships him that way should ask yourself, where is he now and why is he not doing what he said he would do in terms of keeping the community and streaming? And why is the gentleman not streaming? We went from streaming every 4 or 5 days, 6-7 hour streams to just none. What's the reason? Is there a good reason why he's evacuated himself, ejected from the community? Is there a good reason, or is he just doing the thing that he said other founders do, and that's why they're fucked? He's hiding, right? Let's jump on the looks maxing bandwagon. Let's not, man. Netsky's best thing to do gives is sell it all, get the loss advantage from your other transactions. So like I said, the stakes are already staked, and that's not changing. So I will be earning the APY of HEX. The problem is HEX is worth nothing. Look, I'll be super clear about that. I'll say it again before we cut off to a break and we come back and change subject. I'll say this again clearly. The HEX contract is working. It is doing both Ethereum HEX and Pulse HEX. And I don't want to touch ProveX and all that other rubbish, but I'll just say this though. If you sacrifice for that ProveX shit, you deserve what came. Those who... If you sacrificed for that other project, that last one from Richard, you deserve to be shot down. Hey, I'm going to grab a beer. I'll be right back. Or a coffee. I'll be right back. Enjoy some surfing. No more HEX.
Good morning. GoPro Mission 1 Pro by 2. I guess this is going to be a little test. First of all, I'm not surfing very well, so forget all the surfing. Let's just focus on the GoPros. GoPro have suggested that the floaty for the 13 does not fit the Mission 1 Pro, and it does, but it also doesn't. So what I've done to make it fit, I took a Stanley knife or a box cutter and sliced off some parts and shoved it in. Excuse me. Forget that, close out. Yeah, I shoved it in after cutting off a few pieces. Now that obviously makes the thing less buoyant. So the question is, the Mission 1 Pro is heavier than the 13. After you've cut some of the foam off, will this thing still float? So how about we find out? I'm a little frightened to do this. Oh, shit. Uh-oh! Can you see that? Hasn't floated yet. Hasn't floated, hasn't surfaced yet. There it is. Wow, that took a long time to come back to the surface. So the answer to the test is yes, it does float, but not as well. So if you get a hefty wipeout in whitewater, you might want to wait a while and just keep an eye on where you left it last. You will see it, but you'll stay a long time.
Let's move on, huh? No more Hex talk, no more conversations about Hex. Well, we can if you want, but I don't think we do want to. Do you? Do you want to talk about Hex? I don't think we do. Let's move on. And, so we've had a great weekend here. Baxter has been down, as you know. Hey, Netsky's with a lovely pilled sticker. I do love the pilled stickers. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I fucked up my chat overlay again. Yeah, I've ruined it. I've gone from using Railway to using Cloudflare, and in the process, I've ruined it. I'll be able to recover it, but it's just one of those things. It's like every time you get like super close to getting this thing done and sort of finished, there's this other loophole that pops up, and this loop, or not loophole, but little catch, something that I needed to. I entered there was a point that came where it's like, hey, if you want to keep doing this, you're gonna have to start paying for it. And so I asked the Copilot, hey, is there a freer version? Is there a way to do this for free? And they came back with, yes, you can use Cloudflare and what's it called? A DO, forgot what it stands for now. Fuck, I learned all that. Valora is down. Is Valora down? Let me just check. I'll refresh my trouser. Valora says, create a dashboard. It does say I'm offline. You are offline. Man, Valora's been doing that a fair bit lately. Why is it? Am I offline or is it just a phony saying? Thank you, Netskis, for letting me know on the pilled machine. I'm just going to refresh my trousers once more and see. I believe it is down. All right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll turn Valora off and turn it back on again. And that way you get to claim first and second place. I switched back to YouTube. Hexy, okay, no worries, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, Valora, I don't know. Valora's having back-end issues is all I'll say. Valora is frozen. Okay, cool. Okay, it should be back up now. I just turned it back on and off. We'll confirm that in a second, skis. I'll refresh the trousers and then we'll see. They got to get that sorted though, because you can't have downtime like that. What if you're only streaming to Valora? And by the way, it happens on my streams quite a lot, right? I seem to get that most every stream I do, actually. Let me refresh my trousers. I still don't see it. I still don't see it. I don't see it. Create a dashboard. Have I got to stop and start it again? You are offline. I don't know what to do. I stopped it. Didn't work. Yeah. I'll turn it off again. Don't know what to tell you. I can still chat, but no video. Yeah, Hexy. Yeah, you'll still be able to chat there. I'll just turn it off and back on, and we'll see. We'll continue on our merry way. On our merry way, though, here is something that's interesting to me. An Australian first coming to the Western Sydney Airport. Now, what is the Western Sydney Airport? We are going to have two airports in Sydney. The one that I go to nearly every day for work is functioning fine, but we do have a new one that's about to open later this year, and that's going to be for certain international flights and certain domestic flights. Why is it in Western Sydney? It's so that flights can come at all hours of the day and night. It'll be 24/7. The current airport in the center of the city is a curfewed airport. Desk mouse. Oi, 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 sweet as, it's net TV. Oi, 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 sweet as. Yeah, so this airport will be an overflow for Sydney. Should be interesting. Let's take a look at this concept. Back up on Valora, but laggy? Oh, okay.
Almost as soon as Sydney realised it needed a new airport, the pushback began.
You got here first! Yeah, okay, back up, but laggy. I don't know about the lag. Maybe just refresh your trousers on that point.
It needed a new airport. The pushback began.
They look like people who'd never demonstrated before. No long hairs here, no peace signs, no jeans or marijuana.
No jeans?
Mascot is out. Every political leader knows it.
At least 17 potential sites were considered and ruled out until 1986, when the federal government chose Badgerys Creek at the foot of the Blue Mountains.
By 1994, that runway will be able to take freight operations as well as light aircraft.
Wait, so has this airport been pitched since the 90s? I didn't know about that. Wait, is there already an airport at Badgerys Creek? This is not current day footage. This is 4:3 aspect ratio. This is from the. So is there already an airport at Badgerys Creek? Is that what's going on?
will be able to take
They had marijuana.
freight operations as well as light aircraft.
But nothing happened. Instead of a new airport, Sydney built a third runway.
That's right, yeah.
To the dismay of those who lived under the flight path.
Yes, we've asked you to keep the noise down.
Well, I can't hear myself talk unless I yell because I'm deaf. You see, it's all those aeroplanes all the time.
Shut up a second.
All the time.
In 2014, Prime Minister Tony Abbott finally gave the go-ahead for work on the new airport.
In what year?
2014,
2014.
Prime Minister Tony Abbott finally gave the go-ahead for work on the new airport to begin.
It's a long overdue decision, which, to be honest, has been shirked and squibbed.
Has been what? Chirked and squibbed?
Overdue decision, which, to be honest, has been shirked and squibbed.
What the fuck are those words? Trouser refresh is better, a little lag, but YouTube works fine. Interesting.
Overdue decision, which, to be honest, has been shirked and squibbed.
I gotta get an audio recording of that, but I don't know. I'm gonna get it. I'll do that on my own time because I reckon I can find that.
Overdue decision, which, to be honest, has been shirked and squibbed by successive.
Shirked and squibbed. Can we find Tony Abbott? Tony Abbott. Badgerys Creek announce, because I want to hear it without that background audio. I mean, I'm gonna have to find this myself, but I thought it might have been. It might have been straight off the bat there. Chirked and squibbed. His nib is pointy. I've never heard of these words before. It's been chirked and squibbed.
Decision, which, to be honest, has been shirked and squibbed by successive governments for far too long.
Chirked and squibbed. Did I get a screenshot of that? Yeah, chirked and squibbed. I did. Cool.
Now, 60 years after it was first proposed and $6 billion later,
And 6,000 chirks and similar amount of squibs.
Western Sydney International Airport is just about ready.
Cool.
Airports are utilitarian, but actually this looks more like an art gallery to me. You know, it's a really great welcome, don't you think?
The airport's CEO, Simon Hickey, takes 7:30.
Simon Hickey? Simon Hickey? Hickey? That's an unfortunate family name. Yeah, I got Pashrash. This is my cousin, Susan Pashrash.
On a tour of a building designed to help travellers relax.
We've got really high ceilings. It's a beautiful building. It's a beautiful experience, and that makes it a calming experience.
Huh?
The first passengers take off in October. So far, 4 commercial airlines have signed on, as others eye the local market, the diasporas of Western Sydney.
So this needs to be said. Where this airport is located is so far from the city. Like any international tourist that lands at Badgerys Creek, it's gonna be like what are those two in there's Heathrow and the other one that starts with an L. In England, in London, there's Heathrow and there's the other one. I can't remember the name. I thought it started with an L. That's going to be the it's even more. It's like Tullamarine and Avalon. So this Badgerys Creek Airport, you're going to land at Badgerys Creek. You're going to have to get yourself into the city somehow. Probably, I mean, I'm assuming there's a rail line. I don't. What was that noise? Did you hear that? I don't know. I'm assuming there's a rail line.
It will encourage Indian carriers to look at Australia. It will encourage more direct connection. But Singapore Airlines and other airlines will also be looking at how they service Indian markets, Chinese markets, Southeast Asian markets, Middle Eastern markets. So there's opportunities all around us.
Freight flights start next month. Unlike at Mascot, planes can operate through the night. This will be Sydney's first 24/7 airport.
In terms of freight, it's going to make a huge difference. So overnight, it will increase the capacity of Sydney as a region in terms of freight by 30%. So that's a massive improvement.
With more flights comes more noise. 30 years
Yeah,
ago,
but there's no one out there. Badgerys Creek, no one lives out there, man. Who does?
noise complaints at Mascot led to the introduction of an 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. The noise objections were a big reason why this airport was so long coming.
24 hours a day, no sleep. Who do you think you are?
We don't.
They're like, we need another airport, but not here. Just not here. Okay, where? We don't care. Just not here. We don't care where you put it. Just don't put it where we are. But there's always going to be a we are, right? The only place that they could actually put an airport and not fuck someone is out in the ocean, right? And maybe that's the best. I mean, can't Elon build airports on the top of the ocean somehow? Holy shit, Shafunk, how you doing, man? Weird I can't chat on Valora. Dude, I'm hearing a lot of Valora down skins right now. Is Valora down again? It says I'm offline. Are you... I'm a little bit annoyed, man. I'm just going to refresh my trousers on Valora and see. No, it says I'm live. Why can't you chat there? No chat? I can chat there. No, you should be able to chat there. Stream is up, but chat is broken. Refresh your trouser. Refresh your trouser. I feel like a refreshing of the trouser might fix it. One day Gives will love Pilled prediction. I don't think so, dude. I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy. Valora's rad. No, I'll just stick there. No worries. No worries.
Have built up residential areas at the end of our
yeah, look. An airport in the ocean, right? An airport built on the ocean. You will never have a complaint from neighbors because there aren't any. Planes could land 24/7. Now, this does sound a little bit James Bond-esque, but what about the planes land on the top and everything else is under, like a submarine, under the surface of the water, and there's a direct link via a tube into the city? Sounds far-fetched, right? But so did sounding internet that flies above your head and gives you better connections than a lot of landline connections. Starlink, right? That kind of internet sounded far-fetched. You're telling me there's going to be internet flying around space? Come on, man. I mean, you're going to be able to use it for gaming? It's going to have no latency? Come on, man. No, you got that. So why can't they build an airport in the ocean? You know what I'm saying? There's an airport like that. It has a highway going under the airport. A highway going under the airport or going under the ocean? I feel like I'm on a rant here. I feel like I've got a good rant. Let me start a little. I've got this set up here. I'm gonna do a little piece to camera about this. I feel like I've got something here. Can I do it with this? I'm not gonna hear you. This is gonna be me recording a video, but I'm gonna do it on my live feed. You'll see. There'll be no chat or anything. But I got this. I'm gonna do this in like a minute or two. Hello, the internet. It is Sunday, the 12th of July, 2026, and I got an idea. All these people complaining about airport noise. Why can't they build airports on the ocean? I'm sure someone like Elon could come up with the concept where the airport is on top of the ocean, X amount of meters above the highest median water level. Planes land 24/7, never a noise complaint because there are no neighbors. Planes come in, planes go out. Then underneath the airport, you just go down into the water. Underneath the water, you have a James Bond kind of submarine area where all the customers and collect their luggage. And then you go through a tube, takes you back into the city. So this airport could be 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers out to sea. You could have planes landing every single angle. Never have a problem with that. People can take that tube straight back into the city. Why can't they do that? Now you say, dude, that's so far-fetched. Think about it. Also, internet in space. You telling me that there's going to be satellites zinging around above our heads and we're going to have better internet than we've got a lot of landline? and now we've got that. So don't tell me that it can't be done. It's July 2026. Let's put this into a time capsule. When do we think this will take place by? I say by July 2036. 10 years from now, someone will be building an airport. Probably Elon. They'll be building the world's first above ocean airport, 2 kilometers, 3 to 4 miles off the coast of a major city. Mark my words. Like, share, and subscribe if you think I'm an absolute nutbag. What about storms and big waves? Build it bigger. Make it larger. Make it higher. It can be done. I don't know if it can be done. I feel like it can be done.
Is today and where our future runway would be. And that's because of all of that decades
I'm not like
of
some
land use
madman.
planning.
But lots more people are coming to Western Sydney.
Interesting video,
Not
yeah.
500,000 residents in 10 years. Community pressure over noise.
I mean, look at these guys. These are the suckers that bought houses out in Western Sydney that are pretty much coming up in a few months' time when the first commercial flights start landing in the Western Sydney airport. They're going to find out about noise pollution, and it's going to be 24/7. So these guys are going to be pissed. They're like, nah, man, we bought these houses out here because the land was affordable and new housing estates and schools and amenities and shit. We don't want planes. Bad luck. So no matter where you do it, you're always going to have this issue unless you do it at sea. How about a flying airport like in the Avengers? The aircraft, 24/7 flying and it. So the airport, the aircraft carrier is the airport. So you don't actually have to board a plane. It just takes off and goes to wherever you need.
Seems inevitable.
How close are these houses? It's literally in the suburb of. This is Western Sydney. Yeah, they're all going to be fucked now.
Community pressure over noise seems inevitable.
You've built the airport. Now, for heaven's sake, don't impose, at some future time, some conditions and curfews on their operating hours because people have decided to take up offers of developers to have residences and residential villages being built out there. It just doesn't make sense.
We've got around about 80% support for the airport in our local communities.
That's before the noise, though.
Well, no, that's knowing that there's an airport here. It's not for the love of the buildings. It's because what an airport's going to do is going to provide that connectivity.
That's it. That's the only thing it's going to do, provide connectivity. It's going to provide a hell of a lot of noise.
The planes that will use Western Sydney Airport will not be monitored from an air traffic control tower. There isn't one. Instead, there's a camera array. The controllers are 11 kilometres away.
Cool.
In the bowels of a vast data centre stacked with backup systems like a host of gleaming generators.
We're here to offer a service, and that's...
Wait, how about housing developments on the ocean with tunnels to land? I mean, yeah, if you can do an airport... Well, hang on a second. No, we want to avoid having any noise complaints from residents. You know? We don't want to have residents complaining. We're putting the airport at sea so that no one lives around it, dude. Now you're going to build houses out there as well? It's controlled by a wire. This is interesting, man. Yeah.
We'll be offering the same service here.
Here, the controllers can't pick up binoculars and spot approaching aircraft.
We can determine, how much we see or how little. We can either have the full 360 or we can do a more traditional sort of like for like. This is about 240 degrees of vision. So it does present quite differently.
See those houses there? There's an estate right there, dude. There's a housing estate right here. Suckers. I hope their internet connection doesn't go down or oopsie. Yeah, Truskies.
It does present quite differently.
Western Sydney will be the first remote tower centre, but more are coming.
Some of our towers are 50 and 70 years old, and so you can't always get that technology anymore, so it becomes really difficult and therefore also costly to replace and to build new towers.
Something else the new airport doesn't have, check-in counters.
Huh?
And sliding glass doors can shift part of the terminal between domestic and international, depending on demand.
This airport has been designed to create a pleasant passenger experience through space and light and ease of movement through the terminal. There is just one problem on opening day, and that is that the train line won't be ready. That construction site is the Sydney Metro. It's still at least a year away.
Until Western Sydney has got that, which
That's a
essentially
fail.
means the rail line from Parramatta to Western Sydney, it's not going to be a true competitor to Sydney Airport.
Whilst there isn't a metro, we'll have a free bus service.
You got here second. Judsky claiming second place. Yeah.
That replaces that metro service to go to St Mary's to connect up to the heavy rail. So there's many, many ways.
Are you on the phone saying hurry up?
No, I'm actually totally focused at this point in time on making sure that we are ready and open.
So what he's saying is basically get yourself to the new Western Sydney Airport, and from where you go from there, it's up to you. We'll have a train line in a year's time, but right now, if you just take a flight and land here, fucking good luck. Get an Uber to the city, probably cost you $100. The houses can improve noise dampening, maybe. Weird, Shafunk, I look at the satellite on the spot and I don't see anything wrong. And since it seems like most places are nicely spread out, I don't see the big neighborhood. Let's take a look at that. Let me bring up a map here. I'll bring up a Google map. Oh, wait. I'll do it on the browser trouser. Oh, you can't see this, but that's okay. Just get me... Okay, that's defaulted to Sydney. Cool. So we're dealing with Western Sydney. So currently, the airport of Sydney is right here. The Sydney airport. Zoomed too far in. Sydney airport's here. Can you see my mouse? Yep. Currently, flights landing, when they come in from the ocean, they come across this way, from this direction. And there is a suburb here called Kurnell, which does get noise pollution. When the flights come in from any other direction, it's all of these, obviously the metropolitan Sydney area, which gets hammered with air traffic noise. You're going out to Western Sydney, which is this area around here, Penrith, this kind of low-lying area. Now I've zoomed too far out, so it looks like it's pretty close. It's not very close at all. But these areas, St Mary's, Mount Druitt, this Western Sydney area. I wonder if it's even on the map yet. Western Sydney Airport. Oh, yeah. Western Sydney Airport Business Park. So exactly it's... By the way, Ludenham. Isn't that the name of the place in the other airport in England? Ludden? No, it's not. So basically, all of these suburbs around here are the ones that are going to get hit with air traffic noise. Well, this is probably more accurate. Badgerys Creek is the suburb of the airport. So I don't know where it is in relation to this signpost, but these are all suburbs all around here. It's less densely populated out here because it's the western suburbs. That's the spot I'm looking at, yeah. But these are all housing estates. Typically, to be frank, a lot of low socioeconomic, a lot of housing trusts, and a lot of it's a pretty rough area out this way. People often bought out here because prices were lower and further from the coast. If you try to buy a place out here on the eastern suburbs of Sydney, it's way, way, way expensive. So people were forced out there. You can view satellite to see the houses and stuff. True. Satellite image, yeah. Terrain, traffic, public transport, more. Oh, that's your satellite image there. So look at the density of housing in the city areas. Let's just get rid of that. It's just all jam-packed, hey? All these areas, like just full housing, and then go back out to Badgerys Creek. You'll see less housing Oh, there's the airport right there. Bam, nice. But you got housing estates all around it. This is Bradfield, Mount Vernon, Cecil Park, Austral, Rossmore, Greendale. Not much on this side. Warragamba Dam, cool. Silverdale, Greendale, Purpledale, Yellowdale, Reddale, Pinkdale. How many dales are out there? Dale skis. Yeah. And by the way, these areas are just getting more and more populated as the years go on, simply because there's nowhere else for people to go. I've lived next to an airport and a major train line with crossings where they blast their horn. You get used to it. No big deal. Yeah. Yeah. The worst is when people buy there and then they go, I can't handle the noise. It's like, well, you bought there knowing the airport was right there. That happens quite often.
And welcome.
And perhaps appropriately, for an airport so long delayed, designers tried to improve the weight for luggage.
What have you done about the great human compulsion to stand as close as possible to the baggage carousel and stop everyone else from getting their bags?
It is true that everyone thinks their bag's going to be the very next one out and want to get as close as possible. What we've done is we've built the longest carousels in Australia today, so everyone can stretch out, relax, take their time, plenty of time to get your bag.
You know what you could do that would be better than that, old mate? The best thing to do is to track everyone's bag individual. You know, if you don't have an AirTag in your bag, then you're failing. So if you travel, you need to put an AirTag in it. But you should be able to track your bag meter by meter while it's in the airport. They could easily just put a little temporary tag on it and then you take that tag off or something. You should be able to see where your bag is so that you can say, my bag is still on the tarmac, or it's in the back end there doing something. It's not on the conveyor yet. So you can see it moving on the conveyor.
You'll be able to see it coming from a long way off.
There you go, folks. Let's now pivot ourselves to our filthy travelers, Kira and Ryan. We love this channel. We must be getting close to the end of their content, though, because they haven't been uploading. The oldest content, we've been watching all of their travels around Australia, and now they are entering Broome, which I'm looking forward to going to on my trip. Broome. Famous for sunset camel rides on Cable Beach. That looks cool.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. This week we've finally made it to Broome. We're spending the next few days.
Miss Thunder, oi Gibbs, I did that camel ride. You did? You've done that camel ride? Interesting. Cool. Cool. Red Sun camels, right? I know a guy. Yeah, rad.
Exploring everything the city has to offer and absolutely falling in love with the place.
In place?
Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this week's episode.
Oh, we're officially in Broome. Just went shopping and filled up with the groceries. Now we're going to go check out Cable Beach. It's very exciting. Bit dark and stormy out there. Wow, what a spot.
It's a lot of sand on that beach, hey, like a very low tide.
I think there's a bar up there, but we're not going to see that till next month. Wow. What a vehicle.
Just about to drive down to the beach. I'm so excited.
The GivesAMinute beach you can drive down onto. It's one of the most popular beaches in Broome.
So excited.
Looks cool.
Okay, we just pulled up in Chinatown.
Comtech, no, not Comtech, Hexy. A friend of mine always slept with a fan going in his room. Could not sleep when he worked out of town. The hotel room was missing the sound. I know people that need noise to sleep. Yeah, I know that. There's apps for that as well, white noise apps. It's weird seeing right-sided vehicles. It's kind of standard here. We have that on all of our vehicles. It's stunning up there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going up there, Miss Thunder. I've never been that far north in Western Australia, and I'll probably be coming at it from the east side. So I'll be hitting Darwin and the Kimberleys and then going through that way.
Quite a nice place.
You'll love it. I'm looking forward to it.
Try this.
It'll all be streamed. I'll be streaming the whole thing, be live streaming. By the way, I get another notification. Let me just show it to you. Another notification from Starlink about referrals. This was the last time we checked. I had referred, where is this? I had referred 36 users to Starlink, and I have 22 months of service credit for free. And then I got a notice last night, and I just took a screenshot of what the update is. The update is now I've referred 40 users and I have 24 months of credit for free. So I was telling you guys about one of the most costly, what's the saying? The hardest part about traveling and streaming is the internet cost. And so, yeah, I made a referral video on Starlink, a very simple 90-second YouTube video about using my referral link and getting a free month of Starlink. And now people are using it, and I have totaled, I only wanted a year's use, and I've got now 2 years of usage up my sleeve. So what that means for you guys is, I know we're here now and we're inside, but after
I want to mow the lawn and go fishing.
I want to do that too. When I get back from that 2 months traveling, we're going to do a lot more IRL content because I'm not paying for it. So we might as well use it. Malpezzi, how you doing, man? How you doing, Malpezzi? Yeah, 24 months. That's pretty slick. Pretty stoked on that.
Vietnamese restaurant or something down here. So have a nice pop. And then I think tomorrow we're going to try one of their banh mi's. So looking forward to it.
Years ago, I did a referral for a web host and got a year worth. Yeah. Yeah.
Hide the beers. Entree, you got the chicken wings and the soft shell crab. Looks amazing. Can't wait.
Yeah, you got the whole. You got the whole family here, Malpezzi. I see my wife was in recently. Yeah. I'm doing well, dude. I'm doing well. I'm getting psyched in September. I know this is still a little whiles away, but in September I'm going to set out on my road trip, and you guys are going to come with. It's going to be fun. The road beckons. The adventure waits for no one. Nice referral for Starlink. Win. Now, do I have that here for anyone that, I tell you what, I should give it, while we just talked about it, I should give it out, right? I should give it out. I've got it handy on somewhere. Did I put it in? I didn't put it in there. I've got a video. You know what we can do? We can do it this way. Go to YouTube. I got this here. Go to GivesAMinute. Go to Starlink. I guess I could just do that. Yeah, here it is. Here's my video. Check this out. Wow. Hey, do you want to know how you can get a free month of Starlink on me? Down below there's a link. It's a referral. You click it, goes to the Starlink webpage. Nothing different except a little drop down comes down from the top, says you're using a referral. When you sign up to Starlink, using that referral, the first month you pay for, the next month completely free. You can use it on any product globally. Anyone can use it. You don't have to even know me. So share this link with all of your friends. Pump it out everywhere. Everyone gets a free month, and I get a free month too because you're helping me out. Everybody wins. Just use it. Simple, right? Thank you, Starlink. Thank you, Elon. Can we thank him? Thank someone. There it is. Simple video. Referral link right here. 0 comments. 1,000 views. Here is the referral link. Opens up and it pops out. You're using a referral. Actually, it defaults to the UK one. That's interesting. I will pop this in YouTube. I see Shafunk and Hexy. Maybe not for you, but maybe someone you know. That's the thing. You might not want it yourself, but someone that you might know might be looking at using Starlink. Use that link. They get a free month. It's simple. There's no trick to it. It's just a simple trick. You might as well use it because you get a free month. There it is in Kick. While I'm here, I'll pump it out everywhere. Here it is in Valora. Here it is in Pilled. Here it is in arena.social. Whoever's over there watching. And here it is in the Beam chat as well. Now, having said that, let's go back to Broome.
just started pissing down with rain here. Soft-shell crab was to die for.
What if they already had a Starlink? Would it still give them a free month? I don't believe it does. It's only for new accounts. You can already have the hardware though, but if you have to start a new account linked to that hardware. I already signed up a month ago and there's been using it on his bike trips. Nice. Yeah. So if you already have the hardware, you can end your account and restart a new account. You'd probably just have to use a different email address. If you really wanted the free month, you could do that. You could technically do that every month with a new email address. It's a bit cumbersome though, but I'll tell you, if you really wanted to do that, there would obviously be a way to do that. Just reset your account every 2 months. You pay the first month and then the second month is free. And you could keep doing that. It'd be, I don't know. I wouldn't bother doing that personally, but if you wanted to, it's certainly possible. By the way, that's a horrible pause on Kira here. She's about to chow down. I did that with HelloFresh. Now I have like 10 emails. I mean, people do that with other emails, and other different accounts and settings and stuff. I wouldn't recommend it. It means you've got to create dummy email addresses, which I'm personally not interested in keeping a log of all that crap. But I'll tell you what, though, I do have multiple email addresses for my photography website and for my music website. And I'll tell you what I've discovered. This is it's like a little life hack, I suppose. So you know how spammers will try to get you with like what seems like a legitimate email? Like it looks like it's coming from, I don't know, like a hosting company that you use, like, or it might be coming from like a telco, like an Optus, or it might be coming from like, I don't know, like Starlink themselves or Amazon. They send you this email that it's a phishing email, right? These are pretty common. It comes to your email address and it's usually loosely related to something you may or may not have done, like a purchase you might have looked at, maybe buying something, left it in the cart, or a product you were thinking about and you searched up. And so it always rings kind of like, yeah, I did that. And so then people will fall for that and go ahead and click it. But what I've discovered, if you do have multiple email addresses and those email addresses have been around long enough, the way you can tell that it's a spam phishing email is that it comes to all your addresses at the same time. So I've got like editor at Across the Ocean, advertising at Across the Ocean, admin at Across the Ocean, and I got BJ Walk, admin at BJ Walk, BJ Walk at BJ. I got all these emails, and all of those spam emails, they always get fired off from their back end at the same time. So to tell that it's spam, I just see the same email because in my mail client, I just have all the emails, and then if you want to filter through, you can turn off, kind of like with Beam, you can turn on and off the platforms. I just have all my emails in the side. Doesn't matter what address they've come from. I can turn off addresses, but you see these like four emails with the same heading or the same subject. I'm like, okay, spam, easy, yeah. Since I started my LLC, I get so many phishing emails. So yeah, I guess like you probably have multiple email accounts and they all come in at the same time. It's just a little life hack, like if you only have one email address, you might be confused to think that those phishing emails are real because, yeah, I did look at a sheepskin rug yesterday on Amazon. Maybe I left it in my cart. Click the link, you idiot. Now, I'm not being harsh, but do not ever click anything. Another little life hack here, if you get one of those emails and you think it's real, for the love of yourself and everybody that you love, do not click the link. Go to the thing it's telling you about, but go there other ways. Don't go to the thing via the link that they've given you. It might look like it's Amazon. It might look like it's Telstra. It might look like it's ANZ Bank. Instead of clicking their link, open up a browser, maybe even open up a private browser and go to Amazon and just check yourself. If you get to Amazon and you sign in and you see, oh yeah, that sheepskin rug is 30% off, and you didn't get there via the email, you know that's legit. You can delete the email and you've already gone in and done the thing separate from the email. Never do the thing from the thing. Always do the thing without the thing. Don't touch the thing, basically.
chicken wings. Not too bad.
End rant.
Hopefully we don't get too wet tonight in the van. We haven't made the bed yet, so that's exciting. Sure it's just a passing shower, but right? Hey? Won't hang around for too long. And the main's just rocked up with a beef pot and chicken stir fry. Looks amazing.
Fuck, they eat a lot of food.
Well, that was fantastic. So full. Here's got some takeaway for tomorrow. Stopped raining for us briefly, so that's good.
Should we make the bed now?
That would probably be smart. Beautiful morning. Coffee's out.
Did they sleep on the beach?
Chilling on the beach. Broom's known for a few things.
I bet you can't sleep there.
Tides.
Great
And
advice,
the
Gives.
heat
Too many scams out there. Totes, man. Thank you, dude.
Backpackers. Hopefully this fella here with his boat trailer comes back soon before the tide comes in, or else he'll have no
shit.
car left. There's another one just down there too, which is not far off. You can see all these other fellas with boats, they park them right up. So when the tide comes in, their car's still safe. But yeah, I don't know about these guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully they come back in time. Luckily, just back in time. Their boat just like cruised up the beach on wheels. It was amazing. How cool is that thing?
Huh.
Bloody awesome.
It's a boat on a trailer.
Let's go check out GivesAMinute Point. Beautiful day. So this place is known for its unique rock formations and
cool.
Beautiful scenery. A great fishing spot as well, I've been told. And at low tide, you can see a dinosaur footprint, which is pretty bloody cool. We didn't get to see it because I think the tide was on the way in at the time, but something definitely worth a check out.
How lame is that music, but how good is that bass line?
Definitely worth a check out.
The bass is rad, but the other instrument is just gay. Gay being bad in this context. Wow. It's very cute. It's a very Cure-esque song.
Just rocked up to the Coconut Wells. This is where the sea comes in from over there, all the way around the sweeping bend. What? Spectacular.
They do that.
Wow, imagine having your house up there.
They do that weird thing with the audio where they take out all the background sound.
We just pulled up at Coconut Well Beach.
Oh, that reminds me. After this finishes, I got to do something. I got to check something on the Mission 1 Pro. Actually, I'll do that.
Bloody incredible. The colours are just phenomenal. All right, we're bogged. Might have been on purpose, might not have been. Just going to drop the tyre pressures down. I'm going to go about 20, I reckon. See how that goes. And hopefully check out this beach. Might show you while Kira's letting the tyres down. Self-deflator's on. I'll just stop deflating when reaches the correct pressure.
Wait, what? Self-deflating tire pressures? Excuse me? Give me a ChatGPT machine. Self-deflating? Tell me about self-deflating tire pressure options for off-roading. I didn't know there was a thing. If you're doing much off-roading, an automatic tire deflation system is one of those things that feels like a luxury until you've used one. Airing down improves traction, ride comfort, and reduces the chance of punctures, but manually letting 4 tires down gets old fast. Here are the 3 main options. Manual deflators, best value. Okay. Okay, inexpensive. I'm going to get some of these. Digital automatic deflator. These let you set a target pressure electronically and monitor progress. More accurate. 4 tire inflation deflation systems. That's too much. I don't want all that shit. Onboard air systems. Wow. A lot of options here. I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one. I've got a compressor to put them back up, but the down pressuring is what I need. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. Okay, cool.
We were sitting on about 40 psi, which is what we run like on the highway and all that. So, yeah, dropping by half should make a world of difference.
And putting it in 4-wheel drive mode.
You see what the difference is with tyre pressures. That was so much easier now. It's a walk in the park.
They got their Starlink at the front there.
Got the place to ourselves. That's where we got bogged before. It's over there, so we're almost at a destination. And chill out here for the RV and just sun go down and head back.
They're going to camp there. That looks rad. They do a pretty good blog. They do. They're pretty good, aren't they?
Morning. Another fun day in Broome. Weather's turned it on. It's a bit cold this morning.
Yeah, it's chilly.
Kira got new sunnies. Righto, Ozzy Osbourne. Today we're going to go check out the markets to start the day off. Pretty keen. Pumped our tyres up the servo this morning too. We're driving around like a single lady on 20 psi, so change that around. Let's go check these markets out.
Vinyl.
We're a record player in the van, darling.
I can send them home.
Yeah. The markets were fantastic. Lots of homemade gifts and trinkets and everything. Heaps of nice food there. We've arrived back to the beach. Kira's got a bit of work, study, etc., etc.
Yo, Gives, there's a person who built a solar system for their house in Australia that uses a flywheel rather than batteries. If they are near you, would you be willing to do a review video? You mean if, like, go to their house and review their solar setup? That seems pretty odd. Hit me in the Discord more about that. I'm not sure if, yeah, hit me about it. I don't know how to, yeah, I mean, yeah, hit me up in the Discord. Looks like there might have been a camel ride last night. Why do you say that?
What a day.
If you could look it in the face and hold your vomit.
It's gonna be hard to leave this place, tell you what. Another Deleca.
Yeah.
This place is full of Delecas, which is so good. See if we can go make friends, eh? Boys are having a 2-wheel drive van, getting bogged.
Wait, who's bogged? Oh, the Express.
Delecas everywhere. Just your usual Sunday night of lurking around the toilets, just filling up the water. Had to go to Bunnings and get one of these bad boys.
Yes, universal. Yep. Essential.
Locks and everything around here. Pretty hard to fill up with water, but we found a spot and not a bad scenery to wait till your tank's full. Had a great day chilling out by the beach, didn't we?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That looks cool.
We are the old jetty of Chinatown. Magical water. Some planes and helicopters flying over top.
So we were just going for a walk around town and noticed one of the pearl touring places was doing a live harvest of a pearl.
Oh.
So we decided to stop by and check it out, and they explained
Pearl?
like the whole process of pearl farms.
Wow.
And how they insert the sand and slice them open. It's all pretty weird, to be honest, and the money that people pay for them is crazy, but it was still pretty interesting.
Wow.
Little baby pearl.
Looks funny.
No.
All right.
And we're at the top of Chinatown now. Beautiful lookout. Really loving this roof. Reflection on the ground. Like, how cool does that look?
Pretty interesting.
Simple. I just pulled up at Simpson's Beach.
Simpson.
Go have a check. Go have a check. Let's go have a look.
No swell there, is there? Is that bio on the shore? No, just the color of the soil. Dude, crocodile heaven. Wow. I'll research that. You're going to look into that flywheel thing. Yeah, yeah. I've never heard of it, dude.
Oh, it's always a good day when we're at the front of Repco trying to fix the stuff on the van. Left calipers seized, so one of the brake pads have actually worn all the way down.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
so that's going to be a job for today in the Repco car park is change the brake pads and try and unseize the caliper if we can. They don't have a new one there. That would have been nice just to fit it all in, but anyway, that's what we got to do to make it all better. But we have found broom is best, barn me. So that should help me get through.
Always food related. Always
And then
food
after
related.
that, hopefully go down to the beach and unwind. It's got to happen when we're not drinking either as well. But makes it so much harder.
Oh yeah, they're
How's
doing
my day going?
they're doing dry July.
Glad you asked.
I could never do this job.
Got the old pads here. Yeah, so that's the noise that we were hearing. Completely gone. Break the sun for you. So yeah, seized guide. You see that one there? That's worn, and that one's still plenty of meat on it. So yeah, it's just
That area looks like a good place for an
the guide
airport.
pin was seized.
Then you got to get yourself to
Yeah.
Sydney from there.
So I don't have a new caliper here, so I'm just gonna have to clean it up the best I can. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Apart from that, it's all looking as it should.
This guy's smart, right?
How you doing?
Okay.
New pads are in.
Smart guy.
Unseized the guides. And gave the disc a bit of a clean. Anyway, clean that up. Might give it a little bit of a bleed while we're here. And chuck the wheel on and we'll be done. Yeehaw. Good to go. Wheels back on. Brakes are in there, I hope. You put the brakes in there, yeah?
Yeah, I could never do that kind of hard maintenance that he does. It's quite admirable. I guess it just depends on what you know. Like, he could be a motor mechanic for all we know.
Morning, guys. A bit of an early start today. We just arrived back at Coconut Wells.
I can diagnose all the tech
Sun's
stuff,
up,
but
as always.
streaming gear,
car
but
park.
fixing a
Well,
brake
just
caliper?
arriving
Hell
here.
no.
And today we're going to be floating in on this river. Kira's working in the back. Got some coffee on the go. Should be fun. Alright, got the floaty, rope.
I always used to change my own pads.
Go
It's
ahead.
easy as.
Float back in.
I mean, I'd like to know how it's done, I guess, but I don't even, yeah. Cross that road if I have to, I suppose. Gee, that looks amazing.
And we're at the beach. The mouth of the river is over there. Go park up there and hope for the tide to come in. Float all the way back to the car. Knock knock.
Wow.
Down to the caves. Wait for the tide to come in. Perfect place to chill out. Wow, it's quite big. Quite fast.
It is, yeah.
Why do we have to do this on the second last day of not drinking? Alright, we made it far. Just comes to the bend there and then goes around and now car's parked over there. So pretty much got all the way back. Apparently today wasn't as big as they normally get with the tide coming in, so I think next time when we come back with a tube,
Using the
try and
moon pull to drag you back, huh?
wave height of, oh, high tide, sorry, top high tide of over 9 metres.
If you do your own brakes, doing it isn't a big deal, but it's still no fun on the side of the road.
So,
Looked like a hard spot to do
give
it
it a go.
in that car park
And
area.
do it again with a couple of beers, I reckon. And we're back at the car. That was really good. I think Kira needs an actual floaty toy next time, and a lot more beer. would be suffice. So yeah, as I say, we're going to come back and check this out on a day where the tide's a bit higher. Apparently it's a bit slow today, from what I've heard in the paddock.
It's freezing as well.
Just pry open the caliper with a screwdriver, pushes the brake fluid back, pull the pads out, put new ones in.
So we've left Coconut Wells. And
you don't even have to take the wheel off?
Pulled up just north of it, just on the four-wheel drive track. Beautiful spot.
Of course you do.
In the water. Be a nice place to watch sunset. Apparently somewhere around here there's a reef. Go do a bit of snorkeling. And apparently some good waves.
Good waves?
Left-handed waves. This might be it in the spot. I don't know.
That's
Friend was telling me about it.
That's a right-handed wave.
Someone enjoys surfing.
Cue the surf track.
Found our way to a brewery, seeing it's the first day of the month, we can drink again. So, pretty keen to go check this out. It's just so clean and shiny. Woo.
So they did dry July, so now it's August last year.
You got the ginger beer. Good favourite of ours.
That's a pint glass, right? It's a big ass pint.
Ooh, that is good. Tacos.
Tacos. They look good.
Yeah.
Jam-packed.
They are.
So far we like the Angry Renninger. Up to you, Luke. And this one's the chili beer.
Chili beer?
I don't mind it. The Angry Renninger is way better.
Out of chili beer.
I'm going to grab some Tabasco and put it in this and see if it is pretty much the same thing.
We've got a mixologist in the making here. Yeah, just to go the green pepper. Wow, righto. I only told you that they're out of chili beer, so...
I can't say I've ever put Tabasco in ginger beer. Interesting idea.
Well, this marks the end of our time in Broome. For now, I'm sure we'll be back to this place. Thank you so much for following along. It means the world to us.
You're welcome.
Next week, we're going to be heading up to Dampier Peninsula, checking out all the camp spots along the way up there. See you then.
See you then, Kira and Ryan, the filthy travellers. And I'll see you guys sometime next week, I guess. I'm working tomorrow, and I'll probably be working throughout the week. Well, for the week. So I'm not sure when I'll be live again. But either way, I hope to see you whenever that happens. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It's been a pleasure to have your company in my chat. And I'll see you guys on the flip side of Maximus.
Started out alive, man, that was the play.
That was the play.
Every night building up the sway. Had to find my way. Now I'm hopping platforms.
Surfing through the fray.
Got my crew behind me, yeah, we
Call them givers.
Chilling IRL, catching
All the rivers. Farkle in the chat.
Bringing lost to the grind.
Farkle in the chat. Don't forget to farkle your entire life away. Yes, sir.
New Zealand vibes, surfing waves day to night.